Today is a really busy day. There is so much happening on a litigation basis, on a pre-litigation basis, so many court documents. We just got to get through everything. Hey guys, it's Murad Murali, daily and consistent content. Let's get through this. Tony Buzbee is coming out with a statement, guys, and he is coming for Jay-Z, and he's not letting basically his behavior go. And this is what he says, and we're going to get straight into this. I've ignored the salacious and false stories about me that are nothing more than an effort to deter me from doing my important work. I do think it's important at some point to comment when the truth has been turned upside down. Here's the deal. I sent a demand letter for a meeting to Sean Carter's attorney on behalf of two individuals who alleged SA. Rather than meet with me, Jay-Z's team sued me for extortion. Those claims were stupidly frivolous, and I expect they'll be thrown out. Note that it was Carter's team that made this whole thing public. Carter's lawyer also came to Houston and met with the local authorities and tried to get criminal charges started against me, which went nowhere. They then tracked down and harassed former employees and clients from as far as 20 years ago. They were caught on tape offering up to 10 grand to former clients to sue me. 3 did so. All 3 cases were patently frivolous. 1 case has already been dismissed, and I expect the other 2 will also be dismissed as well. Because they refused to meet with me, and because I have an obligation to my clients, I brought claims against Carter on behalf of one of those clients in New York. Carter's team filed a meritless motion for sanctions against me, challenged my admission to federal court in New York, and filed a state bar grievance against me. Here is where it gets really nasty. They found my client who had filed a suit. They threatened and harassed her. They harassed her family and friends. She has health issues. She has seizures. She withdrew her case. They then sued her and me again for defamation. They had already sued me for defamation, and most of that case is also being thrown out. Pay attention here. They want a headline. So in that new case, they falsely claimed she recanted. She didn't. She hasn't, and she won't. I wasn't there when the things she claims happened to her allegedly happened. I'm just her lawyer. I was sent her case by another firm and vetted it myself with multiple lawyers on my team. The approach here by Carter's team is unprecedented. It reeks of desperation. Wonder why? We won't be bullied or intimidated, period. So, I think the most important part of this conversation of Buzbee's statement is that they have basically said from via, headlines that she has recanted her allegations. That she has not done. She's doubled down on stuff. So at what merit do we believe all victims, or alleged victims when they come out with statements? Is it selective? Is it because a story has holes that one shouldn't believe in them? Because when this got dismissed, Jay-Z's lawsuit got dismissed, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this woman is a liar. But then she came out with this statement to say, I'm double down on the fact that A, this happened to me, and B, I've been harassed. C, they've been coming to my house. D, I'm scared. I've got health problems, mental health problems. I'm done with this and I'm out. And that in itself seems believable to me. Her troubled past and the things that she's gone into that are not good for her and the bad things that she's done lines up with somebody who's had a history of SA. Believe me, I know, because I've been SA'd, especially as a minor, and I understand the crazy path that puts you on. And if it wasn't for my religion, and if it wasn't for and the way I grew up, and the fact that I was told to not have alcohol, not have substances, not have any of that, I would have been gone off the rails, guys. Absolutely. Because all of that stuff, it expedites your PTSD. It expedites the trauma that you go through, and you end up doing crazy things that I'm not saying that she's not accountable for. Absolutely, you are accountable for your own actions, but there is an explanation for that, and the SA is that. SA rewires your brain chemistry, for goodness sake. This is biological. It changes your brain chemistry. It alternates what happens in your effing brain. I'm sick and tired of people who think that when you are discussing SA, people think it's some effing excuse. It's not an excuse. It's an explanation. You just haven't been through it, so therefore you don't understand. Sit down, shut up, and read a book and understand the madness of what SA does to people. I'm sick and tired of people's ignorance when it comes to this conversation. Because when I went through my whole scandal, and when I went through all of this SA, and for the fact that these men would transport me, induce things, give me substances, make me do things, and take part in these weird kinks and whatever. When I came to discuss the fact that I went through SA when I was young as a minor, they were like, oh, he's using this as a story, let's get the violin out, he's using this as an excuse. Ain't no excuse. It's an explanation. Because when you were essayed as a minor, you were overtly sexualized madly. It changes your brain chemistry into a whole new level. You develop certain, certain stuff or behavioral to cope. You end up going through substances, whatever. All of this is true. And I feel like children at that time, when they go through SA, like me and like her potentially, or anybody else watching this, we are ignored, evidently, because no one cares about the fact that we are being SA'd in that moment of time. And it's so sad that when you get older and you read through the things and you end up speaking about it, you are also then ignored. I just feel like human beings are just trash. I don't know why I went into this rant, but I just feel like the fact that she's doubled down on this story and said that she's not recanting her allegations, it is difficult for me, for somebody who's been through SA as a minor, to just throw her away and throw her story away. Like, it's difficult for me to do that, guys. So maybe I am a little biased and maybe I come from that, but how can you not be when you've gone through something like this? I just feel like children who've gone through SA is very different from children and adults who've both gone through SA. It's bad all rounds, but children especially who are going through puberty, who've gone through SA, their whole brain chemistry is effed and they end up on troublesome paths, either going into substances, transporting substances, you end up going into sex work like I did when I was a minor up until 22, whatever. It is absolutely insane, and it is just so sad how the people just don't show grace. But if it's your own daughter or your own son, you're moving differently, aren't you? And I think human beings are just very selfish in general, man. But anyways, I did not mean to go on this rant. We've got many other topics to discuss and talk about. That's how you know I just come to the camera and talk. There's no script. I'm not reading nothing outside of the court documents or statements. I don't read nothing. Woo! Lord, breathe. I'm in Brazil. I'm in Rio. It's sunny. I went to an amazing gig last night. Shout out to those of you who listened to Francis Mercier. I saw him last night. Beautiful. Anyways, let's get into Diddy. And for the fact that in a recent lawsuit, he basically was using religious manipulation to, one of the alleged victims and saying that this is a work of God. And this is in court documents. This is what she's come to say, that this is a work of God, that this is basically what you need to do in order for me to come out of my shell, in order for me to come out of my depression, in order for me to get closer to God. I need to keep doing this to you. This is what he was saying to one of these alleged victims. And it's one of the recent lawsuits that I just read out to you guys in my previous video. But I wanted to just extrapolate this particular point and talk about it more, that this particular man is using religious manipulation. No wonder he was besties with TD Jakes. No wonder TD Jakes was coming to his house or coming to these parties or whatever. It just runs quite similar. The fact that this man is using religious manipulation, it just seems quite devilish to me. For the fact that you would genuinely say to this woman that I'm getting closer to God, that this is what you need to do to help me get closer to God. I am a man of God. I can influence you in this industry. I've got the power because of who I am. The ego done went straight to his head, guys. Very scary. Do you understand? These people who are religious manipulators, very scary indeed. This is what this man was using, and I genuinely believe that this man is into necromancy. This man was contacting dark forces because he has no bounds, he has no limits. He wants all the power in the world, that he ended up becoming delusional and lost his throne. That's how all of these empires ended up falling, because everybody is just crazy when they get that power. Men, when they get such a level of power, they just go crazy. And Diddy is one of those examples, and him using religious manipulation, almost like religious psychosis, to be honest with you. If we really want to keep it a buck, let's keep it a buck and go there. Using religious psychosis in this conversation here is honestly very troubling. That he would do this to these alleged victims, and if they come from a religious background, they feel like they need to oblige because they're helping somebody get closer to God. It's so sinister because they have nowhere else to go. Not enough hotlines or companies or anybody to help these people, man. It's just so sad. Whew, Lord. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad, guys. Religious manipulation. Am I even surprised? That's sad. Let me know your thoughts are, guys, when it comes to this video. Do subscribe to the channel, comment down below, give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Do subscribe. It's just one click. That's all you guys have to do. I'm really trying to get to 400,000 subscribers, guys. And Lord, it is difficult, but I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm still here. God bless. I'm still here, God willing. But please do subscribe. Do send us super things. They go a long way. Do a tip. There's a dollar sign there if you guys wish to. Comment down below. I really want to know your comments on this video, on Buzbee's statement, on Diddy using religious psychosis and manipulation, when it comes to these alleged victims. It is honestly very sad. Subscribe. I am fasting and I have just recorded 2 videos and I need to just edit these and get these out. How I'm doing this while I'm fasting, I don't even know, in this heat. But God is good. God is good. God is good. Subscribe. Love you guys all. Have a great day and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.